screen is visible to all of you? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So, two basic events in reproduction. So, what are the two things which are important, or which are the basic thing, which are the basic events for the reproduction process? The first thing is the creation of DNA copy. So, creation of a DNA copy. So, whatever the DNA we have, it has to be, it has to be copied. That is the first step. Then the second step is, okay, second step I'll discuss later. First, let me explain you what is the creation of DNA copy. So the first step is the creation of DNA copy. Now here, what happens? The cells will use chemical reaction. So I think in the life process chapter, we have discussed about metabolism, right? Remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
What is metabolism? Yes, children, what is metabolism? Metabolism is sum total of all the reactions, okay? Sum total of all the chemical reactions which happens in our body. Sum total of all the chemical reaction that occurs in our body. That is called as metabolism. Now, maybe like I have in my body A reaction, B reaction, C reaction, Z reaction, Q reaction. So these are the different reactions which are happening in my body at a different place. Might be this is happening in the stomach. Fine. A is happening in the stomach. B is happening in the liver. C is happening maybe in the nose. So likewise, at different places, all these reactions are happening. Now, when I joined, or when these all reactions combine together, that is called as metabolism. Sum total of all the chemical reaction that occurs in our body is the metabolism. Now, what happens in the DNA copy? The cells will use the cell use chemical reactions to build copies of their DNA. So with the help of this chemical reactions only, what do? They will be creating. Building means they will be creating. So with the help of the chemical reactions, the cell, what do? They will be creating the copies of their DNA. And where this happens? This happens in the reproducing cells. So this creates two copies of the DNA in a reproducing cells. So this is the very first step, creation of the DNA copy. So what happened in this? The cell will be using the chemical reaction, and because of the chemical reaction, they will be creating the copy of the DNA. And then where it happens in the reproducing cells. So these are the points related to the first one. The first point, creation of DNA copy with the help of the chemical reactions. The cells will be creating the copy of DNA, and then where it occurs, it happens in the reproducing cells. Now, once this copy of the DNA has been created by the cell, now in the second step, what they should do, they should also copy the cellular apparatus. They should also copy the cellular apparatus. Any one of you, what is the meaning of cellular apparatus? You might have used it so many times actually in
Ma'am, could you
your schools, or maybe in the. First of all, tell me what is cellular apparatus. Are there any idea cellular apparatus what it is?
Ma'am,
Meher, Sudamshu, Sumuk, turn on the video, children.
ma'am,
Yeah, Avinacha, tell me.
it is the organs found inside the cell.
Organs found inside the cell. No, not the organs, but you are very close to it.
Organelles.
Cellular apparatus. Yes, Avinacha, right. So in the grade 9, you have learned about cell organelles, right? Have you learned about the mitochondria, vacuoles, nucleus, cytoplasm, right? So all these are what? They are these cellular apparatus. Now, once the copy of DNA, right, Pranaya, Golgi apparatus also. So once the copy of the DNA has been created, now what they have to copy? They have to copy the cellular apparatus also. They have to copy mitochondria, they have to copy the cytoplasm, they have to copy the Golgi apparatus. Now, what happens if the second step is not happening? Then what is the use of the first step? Because the mitochondria is also important, right? What is mitochondria? What does it provide us?
Energy for us.
Energy, right? So that is why the mitochondria is important. The cytoplasm is important to hold the other organelles, right? Golgi apparatus is important so as to transfer the kind of the tissues to them. So likewise, each and every cellular apparatus is important. Now, first step is done, but second step is not happening. So there is no use of DNA copy also. Because to DNA in a proper way, what do they need? They need the cellular apparatus only. So that is why these two reactions should occur together. In the first step, the DNA has to be copied, and the second step, immediately after the first step, what do? They copy all the cellular apparatus. And once they copy the cellular apparatus, what they do? They will be transferring both of the things together into the body of the child. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Shayan, Meher, Shubhansh, Aryan, turn on the video also, children.
Ma'am, my camera is not working today.
Okay. So, clear? So, DNA copying is very important. It has the two basic steps. The first one is to copy the DNA, and who will be doing? In the cell, it is happening with the help of the chemical reaction. So, all the chemical reactions, they will be joining and they will be copying the DNA, and then it occurs in the reproducing cells. Then after this, what happens? They will be copying the cellular apparatus. So once the cellular apparatus and DNA both are copied, then they will be transferring that from us to the offspring. So that is what the two events of the reproduction. Sumuk, clear? Fine. So what is the first event, Sumuk?
Actually, I joined late, ma'am.
First event is the copying of the DNA. Okay, so copying of the DNA is the first event, and the second event is to create the cellular apparatus. So I'll just now note it down about the second.
Ma'am, first event is the
Creation of DNA copying. I'll just share the screen. I have written there. So this is the first step, Sumuk. The creation of a DNA copying. So cells,
can't
what
see
do
the
they do?
screen.
They can't see. Okay, let me share it again. Now can you see?
Hmm.
So the first step is the creation of a DNA copy. Cells will be doing it with the help of the chemical reaction, and then it happens in the reproducing cells. So once the DNA has been copied, then it goes to the second step, which is the cellular apparatus. So DNA copying is accompanied by, like, if your mother is going to the market, so what do? You accompany them, right? You follow them. Same way, when the DNA is being copied, that will be followed. Accompanied means followed. Okay, so that DNA copying is accompanied or followed by the creation of an additional cellular apparatus. So what do? They create they create a separate copy of the cellular apparatus. And then the DNA copies separate. So once the additional copy of the DNA is, once the additional copy of the cellular apparatus is made, what do? Both the DNA copies will get separate, and each will have their own cellular apparatus. So each will have their own cellular apparatus. So that is how the two events are there. In the first event, the DNA copying is done with the help of the chemical reaction. And in the second one, the DNA copying will be accompanied by the additional cellular apparatus. So once this is done, then they will be both the copies of the DNA will get segregated, and both the copies will have their own cellular apparatus to work with. Clear, children? Shayan?
Ma'am, please show the previous page.
Yes.
Abhinav?
Yes, ma'am.
Moksha? Kashmi?
Yes, ma'am.
Pranaya? Yes, ma'am. Sumuk, clear now? Sumuk,
Yes, ma'am.
clear now? What are the two steps?
Creation of DNA copies and cellular apparatus.
Correct. Fine. So creation of a DNA copy followed by the additional copying of the cellular apparatus. And once these both are copied, then they will be segregating, they will be separating from each other and then start working on their own. So these are the two basic events in production. Now shall we go for the next one?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Aryan, completed?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Second page all done? Siddharth, done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the next topic is about the body design. Body design of organisms. So what do you understand by the body design? What is body design? According to you all, what do you mean by body design?
Main structure.
Main structure, okay. Any other answer, Shayan? What do you mean by body design?
The structure of the body.
The structure of?
The body.
The structure of the body, okay. Sudhamshu, any answer regarding the body design, what it is? Sudhamshu? And turn on your video also, Sudhamshu. See, body design is basically nothing but the structure. What do we have, right? I have two hands, you also have two hands. Ionisha has two hands, Moksha, Kashvi, everybody in the class has a two hands. Same goes for the two legs, right? So we all have the same basic design, right? So talking about the inner part, we have the same thing. I have the DNA, you have the DNA. I have the chromosome, you have the chromosome, right? So same kind of design means what kind of thing? Same body design means same body structure, right? But do you mean the same is exact the same? Exact the
No.
copy?
No, ma'am.
Right? I said my body design is similar to maybe Sumuk's body design, right? So does it mean that I have the same structure what he has? No, right? It means the only some of the components which are present in me, like DNA, chromosome, the hands, legs, are common, but they are not exact the same. Some of the variations are there. Now, what is variation? So many times I told you the meaning of variation. What do you mean by variation?
Variety.
No, not variety, Pranay. Every time, Pranay, you say variety. Changes. Differences, changes, okay? They're different actually. When you say no, variety means so many different creatures and like so changes. So variation means changes. Now we have the similarity, but not exact the copy. right? Why it is? Because you, Abhinav, everybody has the same blueprint. Like before you go for the board exam, I think you must be aware that the CBSE will be releasing the blueprint. Do you know that? Right? Sample paper blueprint they will be releasing. So what do you mean by that sample paper blueprint?
The paper will be the same, but then the questions will be different, like changes in the questions.
Correct, exact. Fine. So maybe if the questions are like 39, so in the original board exam paper also you'll be getting the exact same. For example, like question number 1 is physics, question number 2 is chemistry, then third is bio. So what they are doing, they are giving you the exact blueprint of the question paper. The only thing is they will be changing what? The questions. Same way in our body, since the blueprint are same, that is why we all have the same kind of the organelles, same kind of the DNA, chromosome. The only thing is the sequence keep on changing. In me, it is different because of my parents. In you, it will be different because of your parents. In them, it is different because of their parents, right? So body structure is same because of the body design. We have the same body design. And why do we have the same body design? Because of the same blueprint. Fine. Structure is same because of the body design. Now body design is same because of the blueprint. Clear?
Yes.
Now, if changes are there, who is responsible for it? Which thing is responsible for the changes?
The cell or the parents.
Just now we have discussed about that term.
DNA.
Correct, DNA, right? So if the DNA is changing, then what happens? Those changes will occur. Fine. If the DNA of a person is changing, then those variations will occur. Now, I am somehow similar to my parents, but I am exactly to my parents? No, I have some changes, right? Those changes are because of the DNA. Though I have the same blueprint, might be, their blueprint is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But what happened? The gap between those might be, the functioning of those a little different in my body. And that is the reason I look little different from my parents, not exactly the same. So DNA is basically responsible for these similarities with the parents of their kids, right? So Pranay
Ma'am, I
might be,
have a doubt,
similar.
ma'am.
Tell me.
Ma'am, does twins have also DNA same?
Yes, they will have the DNA same, and it also depends on the eggs actually, We have the females have the eggs, right? So it depends upon the homozygous and the hetero actually. So homo is like what happens in the female body when the sperm has been released in the female body, then two conditions are there. Either the one egg will form. If one egg is forming, then maybe a girl or maybe a boy child will be there. But sometimes what happens after the sexual intercourse, after the formation of that egg, same egg will break down into two. And that is how the twins will be formed. Pranay, is it possible children not look like anyone in the... it is possible. It is not important that they have to be same actually. They can be different. They can be actually.
Ma'am, because like they say genes right
Yes.
now, so wouldn't they be looking same?
No. That's what I told you. Like, the sequence is same, but might be the distance is more, the thickness is less. Because of that, we are not so same. We have sometimes it is like completely different. Might be, see, if I talk about Shubhansh is not matching anyone in the family, might be, So that is because not like he is not from his family. Genes are there, the parents' DNA are there, but they have not shown their importance in, coming up. So in the chapter heredity, you will be learning why this happens actually. What happens? We have two generation, F1 generation and F2 generation. In the first generation, like always, the dominant character will come up. You might have seen in your home also sometimes, like mother or father. In mother and father, only one will be dominant. Never ever both will be dominant, right? So what happened initially might be the father is dominant. Fine, father is coming. Oh, I have to do, right? But later on, what happened the next time? The mother will come up after some time. She will be listening, and then second time, mother will come and attack. Same way in our body happens. in the initial first generation, there will be only the dominant character which comes up, which show their character. But next time when the attack is there, who was quiet actually, who was at the back, they start coming up, they start showing up their characters. Fine, so that is what it happens in our body. So the DNA is basically the information source of protein in our body. Very, very important. So name the information source of protein. So DNA. So basically the DNA is carrying each and every information. And in which form they are carrying the information? In the form of the protein. Fine, children? Children, turn on your video. I should not keep on saying the same thing. Do it by yourself. So body structure is because of the body design. Body design is same because of the blueprint is same. Fine. Who is responsible? The DNA. And DNA is the information source of protein. Clear?
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
if I am saying that the information is changed, why it is changed? It is changed because of the starting with P. Just now I said.
Proteins.
Very good, Subhag. So if the information is changed, it is changed because of the different protein. Now, why the proteins are changed? Because of the starting with D.
DNA.
DNA. Okay, so this is how these things are related. If the DNA is same, then the protein will be same, the information will be same. But if the DNA is changed, the protein will be different. If the protein is different, the information will also be different. And here the information means whatever the characters are there. Okay? Am I clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So body structure same because of the body design same, body design for the blueprint same. And these all things are responsible by the DNA. DNA is what? They are the information source of protein. If same DNA, then same protein and same kind of the information will be there. But if different DNA, then different protein and different information will be carried. And that is how the variation will come up. So if the different DNA is there, different protein is there, different information will be there, right? So the variations will occur. And if the variations will occur, what do they form? Frida will answer this because every time she answers this.
Changes.
Right. So if the information changes, protein changes, DNA changes, it leads to the variation, and variation leads to the evolution of the species. Fine. So that is about the body design of the organism. Again, I'll repeat, body structure is similar because of the body design. Body design is similar because of the blueprint is same. These all things will be carried by the DNA, and DNA is the source of information of protein. If DNA is same, protein will be same. If protein is same, information will be same. If DNA is different, protein will be different. If protein is different, information will be different. And if these information are different, what happens? It leads to the variation. Some changes will be there. Like we are not same like our parents, right? So it means in our body, what happened? The variations happen. And these variations, generation by generation. Now I have given birth to the twins, right? So they will also be giving birth. So chances are there, like, the characters will be passed. Like I have given birth to the twins, my twins will be giving birth maybe also, maybe like to the twins only, right? So in that case, it keeps passing like this, right? And then ultimately, after so many years, some other species will be there on the earth. Like we are also not there on the earth, right? Before chimpanzees, the gorillas were there, right? So from them, we have come up. Same way, after so many years, some other species will be living, not we. So that is what about the body design of organism. Am I clear, children? Any doubt any one of you have?
Mom, I had a doubt. Like sometimes, like twins or anybody, they share the same body. Like we've seen right now, like they have attached legs or like hands. Like how does that happen?
Mutation.
Ma'am?
That is what the mutation last class we have discussed, right? So what happened in their body, the sudden changes will be there in the sequence of the gene. So when those sequence of the genes are disturbed, during that case, they do not allow them to segregate.
What about
Okay.
the identical twins?
The identical twins have the same eggs actually, and the same sperm has been cut down into two parts. If I talk about my case, it was not identical. It was actually they are different. They both are different because two sperms have reached to the one egg, and then one egg has broken down into two. Understood? If it was one egg and one same sperm into two parts, two eggs formed, then they will be the identical. But in this case, in my case, what happened? One egg was there, but two different sperms enter into the egg, and that is what like two formations were there. Okay, so we'll just note this down now. What we have discussed.
One doubt, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, as you had said now, ma'am, during for mutation, right? Ma'am, then during the separation, then one twin will die, no, ma'am.
No, it is not important. Aryan, nowadays the technology is so much improved, so much advanced and all that this does not happen nowadays. It's like rare of the rare chances it happens. Because if it is like, hands and legs, they can segregate, no problem. But sometimes what happens when their heads are joined together, then in that case, during the surgery, then the problem might occur.
Okay.
So, okay, we'll write about the body design. So, first point, organism look similar.
Ma'am, screen is not visible, ma'am.
Okay, let me share it again. Now it is visible. So first point, so organisms look similar because their body designs are similar. So we all have the same body design, that is they look similar. Now body designs are similar because of the same. What is same?
Blueprint.
Very good. So because of the blueprint, because blueprints of body design are similar. Then third point, DNA is responsible for the resemblance. So we are resembling our parents because of the DNA. So DNA is responsible for the resemblance between parents and children. And what is the information source of protein? DNA. Fine. So DNA in the nucleus is the information source of protein. Very, very important, children. This is the one marker question. Most of the year they ask it. So name the information source of protein and where it is present in the nucleus. The answer is DNA. So DNA is the information source of proteins and it is present in the nucleus. Now the next point, if information is changed, if information is changed, then different proteins will make different body design. Different body design. So if we are changing this DNA, then information will change, the different protein will be formed, and because of which the different body design will be formed. So that is how it works. Then in the next point, reproduction is the creation of DNA copies by cell division. So as we have discussed in the beginning of the class, in the reproduction case, two events will be there. The DNA copying is the first event. So that is important. And always DNA copying occurs with some of the variation. So DNA copying always involves some variations. Variation means changes. So that is why we are similar but not identical. So because of these variations, we are similar but not identical. And because of this variation, it leads to the evolution. So this tendency of variation during reproduction leads to evolution of the species. It means the formation of the new species will be there because of this. So that's about the organism design body. Any doubt any one of you have?
Please show the previous page when writing.
Okay, okay. Sumuk, am I clear? Yes, Sumuk, am I clear? Abhinav?
Yes.
Pranaya, Kashvi, Ayunija,
Yes, ma'am.
Siddharth, Meher, Shudhamshu,
Yes, ma'am.
Shayan. So see, nothing is there, children, to mug up. In the bio, you should have to understand only, and then you can write in your own words. Now I have explained you in a very clear way. Why it is same, if it is same, why it is, if it is not, then what will happen. So always keep in mind, if it is same, then same source of protein will be there, same information will be carried, and if same information is carried, then the child will have the same identical thing. But always what happened during the case of the DNA copying, some of the variations will be there, and if variations are there, ultimately it has to lead to the evolution.
And sometimes these variations are not there, right, ma'am? Because like we see that the son is like similar to the father, very similar, like identical. Is that
See,
possible?
that is also a variation. If it is not exact same, then it is variation only. That is why
Yes,
we
ma'am, but
say
then
they
we
are
see
same but not same.
like I've seen movies in which they like very normally in like the South Indian movies they show that the father looks like the son. Or the son looks like the father,
Yes.
actually.
Right. So in that case, what do? They create the DNA copying without any variations. If it is exactly identical, and that is what is actually cloning. There's a movie also, I don't know the name, but isn't that movie what they have, showed like artificially, and I think in the class 8 you might have learned about the dolly, right?
Ma'am.
Remember children, dolly?
Yes, ma'am. But how do they even say the characteristics of a sheep, ma'am? They should have done with a human instead. Then I
Human
would
working is not
actually.
easy, actually. Human working is not easy. And see, if I am alive, will I allow my body to, to do some experiment on my body? Anyone? I will not allow anyone, right? So that is the reason that they are selecting the other animals. Or for the vaccine also, you might have seen for the COVID vaccine, they have not experimented from starting to the humans because they know if any kind of error is there, then definitely the death of the person will be there. That is the reason they always give, hit and trial on the animals rather than giving direct trials on the humans. So once it was successful on the animals, then they have tried on the humans. And then slowly, like in the phases, they will be trying initial one phase, second phase, third phase, and then only they release it completely because it is not so easy to work with the body of the person.
Ma'am, do sheep
Yeah.
have variations too?
Yes, definitely. Everybody has actually the variations.
They all look the same.
To us, they are looking same, but actually they are not same. If we see, then dogs also look same, right?
Exactly, ma'am. Like example, Labradors, they all look the same. Then what's the need of cloning animals when they all look the same?
No, actually when we see them, they look same, but they have a different DNA actually in the body, and that is the reason, those who have very good knowledge of the dogs or maybe other animals, they will be easily identifying that they are not same.
For me, all dogs are not same.
So you have a good knowledge of dog, it means, or you
No,
must be scared of dogs.
no, ma'am. I look at like see dogs, ma'am.
Where do you see them?
I'm on my way to school.
Okay. So done, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
This chapter is actually a very interesting chapter. It's not like because it has only the concept of the male and female, but yes, it has a different concept which you have never, learned about, like about what is body design, similarities, blueprints, all those things. So we'll be discussing more about this chapter. Now, in the next class, we will be discussing about the differences between the sexual and asexual reproduction. So, what are they? What are the differences? Which is important for us? Which is not important? Which has the higher rate of survival? Which do not survive? So, all those wide type of questions we'll be discussing in the next class. Until then, make sure that children you study whatever we have completed. Okay. And if in case you have any doubt, just feel free to drop me a message with your doubts. I'll clarify when I get the time. All right. And
Okay, ma'am.
that's it. Which page number you want to see, Sumu?
I wanted to ask before, but I wrote the notes.
Okay, okay, fine. And if in case, like, you wanted to see any of the material, it is there under the content, right? Sumuk, I will be uploading this notes also there. You can refer from them if it is like something that has been missed in between.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, children, then thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
When will the result come? Of
Result of the
Sunday test.
photo Sunday
Sunday
test.
test.
It is done.
Ma'am, I'm unable to even find the result, ma'am.
Maher, I was actually going through the recording of yesterday's maths class, and I noticed like you informed ma'am that you was not able to find the paper, I guess. And you messaged me also. What I said that you have to log out and log in again. Log out means from the Wise app you need to log out and then log in again.
Ma'am, I always log in, ma'am. I never log out. The
Try
browser
it
data.
again. If in case the same problem occurs, let me know because when I message you, you did not reply me back. Okay. Just let me know after that so that I can inform the technical team because might be some problem is happening at your end. That can be resolved by technical team only. Okay. So just inform me if same problem arises for you.
Thank
Okay,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. And Mehez, I'll send you the result personally maybe to you then.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, Mehez. Thank you. Bye bye, children. Bye, children.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye bye.